This is your Weather Xtreme video for Sunday, June the 13th. As we get to the middle of June, I can't believe the year is nearly half over. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. Thanks for tuning in, and let's get right to our Skycam imagery this morning. There's a look at the buildings of downtown Birmingham, and we have mostly a clear sky. Nice clear sky visible as we look down to the southeast from Mount Cheaha as we look down the spine of the Appalachians. And then how about this shot? Great shot of the sunrise from the Fayette camera. So kind of a view across central Alabama this morning. High pressure at the surface and aloft is keeping all the weather systems to our north just a little bit. You can see the strong ridge in the upper atmosphere on our 500 millibar chart overlaying on the water vapor imagery this morning. And thunderstorms already in the Oklahoma panhandle and in parts of western Kansas. So that's the area where much of the action is going on. Warm across what would you say? Maybe the eastern half of the country or so. All that yellow is 60 and above, and 85 at Key West and 82 at Brownsville. Wow, that's hot for 5 o'clock in the morning. Not that warm in central Alabama, as we see temperatures ranging from about 71 to 75 across central Alabama. A little bit warmer actually at Huntsville, 76, and warm down at the Gulf Coast as well. Looks like that warmth is not going to change much with the ridge firmly in place. Flash flood watches in effect for a large area of the Central Plains and then over into a good portion of the central Appalachians there, West Virginia especially, and parts of Ohio and extreme northeast Kentucky. And that is, of course, the area along which the QPF guys are out looking for much of the rain to occur over the next 5 days. Storm Prediction Center, as we showed yesterday, still the same for day one. Looks like a slight risk area from Illinois across parts of Missouri, Kansas, and Oklahoma into West Texas and the Texas Panhandle. That area gets a little elongated on day two as it goes from extreme southern Ohio all the way back into West Texas. And then even on day three, it gets broken up, but still the same areas of the Ohio River Valley and then back into West Texas. And guess what? We have some activity in the tropics, and this system's looking very interesting. There was a small chance it might develop yesterday afternoon, and then today it looks like there's a better chance. And there's a look at our satellite imagery covering out into the far eastern Atlantic, and certainly that cluster of clouds and storms is certainly looking interesting. And right now the National Hurricane Center is saying that there's about a 30% chance that it will develop. All right, let's get right to the 06C GFS model run. And the upper air pattern at Monday shows a ridge. I'm afraid it's kind of like a broken record here. It's ridge, 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 ridge. A little trough over the Rockies, and of course the area between the two is where we were focusing on rain and thunderstorms. The trough over the Rockies begins to kick out, but the ridge is holding pretty strong. It does weaken just a little bit, and that's good, and flattens as that strong trough comes out, as you can see on Wednesday. That flattens the ridge somewhat, but not much change in the way of what things are down here. As a matter of fact, we're just going to see the possibility of isolated to perhaps scattered showers over the next week or so. Thursday, the ridge begins to build a little bit stronger just to our west, and that building continues as we see a 594 contour over northern Mexico, but the strong ridge over the southeastern U.S. In the meantime, we've got a number of troughs moving through the westerlies, but they're too far north to really have much impact on us. The ridge continues to build, as you can see the 588 line bulging northward there on Saturday, and of course that's once again back into the isolated. So it's kind of going to vary between isolated and scattered from day to day. And finally on Sunday, once again, hate to say it, but the ridge. And so we're very much into a typical summer weather pattern, and it looks like temperatures staying pretty much in the 90s for the foreseeable future. And I'm afraid we're just going to have to water the yard to keep the benefits of all that rain that we've had so far. Now let's go out into Voodoo, and oh my gosh, is that a ridge? Yes, and the 594 contour, I'm sorry, I can't help that. The 594 contour is certainly very strong, covering the area all the way from North Alabama and Georgia all the way back up into Missouri. So definitely look for some heat as we head into the latter part of June. But look at this. We do have some hope. Now, this is way out in voodoo because this is out at 372 hours, the end of the period. This is basically the 28th of June at midday. And we do have some hopes that perhaps the ridge will retrograde over the Southern Rockies or to the Southern Rockies, and that opens the way for a bit of a trough. And this could mean a weak front, but it's fairly heavy speculation on my part since it's at the end of the voodoo period. Well, thanks for tuning into the Weather Xtreme video. I expect James Spann to be back in the saddle once again tomorrow morning. In the meantime, my next one's going to be like next Saturday, but hope that you have a great upcoming week. And by all means, take this heat seriously because heat really can catch up with us and it can be a killer. So take the heat seriously. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. Have a great Sunday and Godspeed.
Each day there are new stories to tell about the people who live here and the place we call home.
All of the faces that I see, all of the places close to me, they're all part of all the best things about home.
Sharing your stories on ABC 3340, Alabama's news leader.